What's normal at 3 p.m. but scary at 3 a.m.? Daylight. A knock at the front door. My kids' toys randomly making noises. Seeing people in the hallway, especially when you think it's empty, just you. The forest. It's 5 a.m. and I'm in a house in the wilderness of Australia and whatever animal is outside my window is downright terrifying. A graveyard. Me helping your mother. Electricity going out. Getting gas. Gremlins. Phone call. Trying to get a snack from the kitchen. Drinking coffee. I get anxious. The sounds wooden furniture makes. Running. Swimming. Being in an office building. Wandering through school hallways. Traffic. Quarters. A baby yet you have no baby. What's something that grew on you as you got older? I am dumb. I don't know why I didn't expect these responses. This pesky mole. I should have it checked out. Mushrooms on food. Hair in unwanted places. My arms, legs, ass. Sadly my dick never grew much at all. Back hair. Loneliness. Coffee. Ear hair. What the fuck is that about? My appreciation of art and classical music. My period. Cooked carrots. Dark chocolate. Red wine. Being tired all the time. The presence of my sister, who now lives on her own. My belly. 80s music. Staying at home. I hated being at home from 1622 but last few years. My home is all I want ever. Smiley face. Rolling eyes face. Boobs. Coccinia. It's a vegetable. Turnip. What's something that will always be in fashion, no matter how much time passes? Fucking cool seem to be words that won't go out of style. Jeans. Manners. Camouflage cargo shorts. Money. Sunglasses. Leather jackets. Jeans and Air Force Ones. Crocs. Bell bottoms. Kindness. What's the best film you've ever seen? No Country for Old Men. Interstellar. Call Me by Your Name 2017. No Country for Old Men. I really like Fargo. I know it's not for everyone but I liked how it was written, acted, and directed. The Big Lebowski is pretty great too. The Dark Knight. Well, the first rule is, you don't talk about this movie. The Prestige. Shrek 2. Forrest Gump. Tough one but possibly The Shawshank Redemption or Prisoners. Logan's a front-runner too. Perfect Blue, anime film from 1997. I also have the book The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Pulp Fiction. Mad Max Fury Roads. Morbius, a movie so great they released it twice. Inception. Probably. Hannah Montana the movie. John Wick 3 was a fucking masterpiece. Shark Side of the Moon. Brilliant. The Fountain. Forrest Gump. What's the best thing you've watched on Netflix? Mindhunter. Arcane. Dark. Absolutely life-changing and so underrated. Mindhunter, gone too soon. BoJack Horseman is incredible. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Absolutely top-tier show. Hubie Halloween. Love Death Robots or Altered Carbon. Dark, Haunting of the Hill House. Brand new cherry flavor. Blue Jay, Behind Her Eyes. Bodyguard, a UK-based series with thrilling action politics involved. It had a good twist as well. Loving every episode of it. Haunting of Hill House. Extraordinary Attorney Woo. I don't watch Korean shows normally, but this was so freaking well done. It's heartfelt, feel good and hilarious. I got a few recs to watch this from others who also never normally see this type of things and they all love it. As in an original? Do Revenge or Don't Look Up. Arcane. What's the best way to avoid kissing? Eat an onion like it's an apple and don't brush your teeth. Don't socialize. Say no. If they don't listen and keep pressuring, that's a big red flag. Ever seen the movie Bubble Boy? Be a Redditor. Cayenne pepper lip balm? Doggy style. Punch them in the face. Eat a whole jar of gefilte shortly before. I have weird ulcers in my mouth. They're kind of sore and leaking pus. I don't think you want to kiss me right now. Avoid the person of concern. My favorite one is saying, oh what's that over there? Eat corn nuts. Probably the ranch ones. Why avoid kissing though? Say you have herpes. I guess turning into me isn't an option. Just say you never go ass to mouth. End of discussion. Isolate yourself from the outside world and never speak to anybody. I've been doing it my whole life. Avoid people. Kissing's low-key weird NGL. No eye contact. What's the last non-porn thing you googled in incognito mode? How to spell bureaucracy. Difference between tangerine and orange. Don't judge me. I forgot which is which. Brendan Fraser net worth. In a lot of anime there can be cousins who are in love, married, etc. I find it weird as hell so I was googling to see if that was normal in Japan. Used incognito because I didn't want cousin marriage stuff in my search history. I Google everything in incognito mode. I don't know why. Dispensary menu so my kids can't see. See no evil monkey. Lisa Mitchinson. What's not porn? Vape shops near me. Why do I feel like everything is inside of my head? Old comics. Ha. Why did that fart smell differently? Inflatable boat. I copy pasted a link to someone's beheading. What's wrong with you? More like what's right with me lol. I am alone and I don't think it will change. I'm hungover currently. Unravels a list longer than the circumference of the way. Number 1. Bipolar. Number 2. ADHD. 3. Insomnia. 4. Fat. 5. Crazy dog lady. 6. I'm tired. I just finished raking the lawn. I just miss her. Disappointed face. Man shrugging. What? I have slight anorexia. I cut myself while shaving. Well, you'd think it's everything. And you are correct. Everything is wrong with me. Mental health, tinnitus, hearing loss. I'm ginger. I've never been able to get over my awkwardness around people. I don't think anything is wrong with me. Mainly because I am who I am, and while I can be a better person, I don't believe in the concept of something being wrong with an individual. We are all beautiful in our individual way. What's your favorite misheard lyric? The one from Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. Excuse me, while I kiss this guy. The lyrics are in English, but it sounds vaguely Danish. So the lyrics are from Coldplay's Yellow I believe, and they sing something along the lines of your skin and bones. In Danish that sounds like yeist and bums, which could translate to I shat a pimple, or I shat a homeless man. Always great fun. Thumbs up. Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann Band. The line is revved up like a deuce, another runner in the night, but it sounds like wrapped up like a douche, another rumor in the night. Credence. There's a bathroom on the right. HF. Hold Me Closer. Tony Danza Tiny Dancer by Elton John. Lock the taskbar, rock the Casbah. Let's start a riot. 3 days grace saving Mr. Ryan. I was in 7th grade. You're the cookie at the top of the world. When and where will we find extraterrestrial life? Space. Sometime in the future. We have. Here in the UK we call them Scousers. The 4th of May 2420. Right here on Earth. They are with us now. Within the solar system, the best candidates for alien life are Mars, Europa, Enceladus, and Titan. If we find life, even microbial life, on any of these worlds, then the chances of aliens in the rest of the universe skyrockets. I don't think we will. 16th of May 2023, on Uranus. When? Never. Where? Nowhere. But I'm just guessing. I'd be thrilled to find out I'm wrong. And would probably shit myself too. On May 22, 2036 the news will be spread. If you've tripped before, you've already unlocked the portal and have met them conveniently from the living room of your home. Just waiting for them to come to me. Where does freedom of speech end and hate speech start? When the words further no potential end except causing harm to others. You have crossed the line when you advocate harm, violence or hate. I think freedom of speech ends when it starts to harm someone else. Like how you can get sued for defamatory claims or for spewing outright lies that can hurt people if taken seriously, like claiming Sandy Hook was fake. And that makes sense, since pursuit of happiness also ends when it starts to harm another person. You're allowed to your individual beliefs as long as it doesn't interfere with other people's well-being. That's impossible to say because no one can agree on what defines hate speech. Free speech has no end. If you don't like what somebody is saying, you have the right to not listen. When it's clear that the intent is to cause harm to others. Which song will never leave your top 5? Freebird, Your Love, The Outfield, Bohemian Rhapsody, Glimpse of Us, Joji, The Cure, A Letter to Elise, No Rain by Blind Melon, Heard It Through the Grapevine, Marvin Gaye, I Put a Spell on You, Nina Simone, Fix You by Coldplay has a special place in my heart. Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan is also amazing, as well as The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Juicy, Notorious Big. This song is It is a heavy metal song about the moment when you realize you are strong enough to take that next step, to make that change you need to make, and become the person you always wanted to be. The Perfect Girl, Shadow Lady. Even If She Falls by Blink-182. Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. Un Jour en France Noir Désir. Go Your Own Way, Fleetwood Mac. Fade to Black, Metallica. Good Time by Alan Jackson. Mr. Brightside, Master of Puppets, Metallica. Beneath Still Waters, Emmylou Harris. Who are the scariest types of people? Extroverts. People who have nothing to lose. Right now I've been terrified of a particular political party with the agendas they've been desperately pushing. Bigots who think they're benevolent. The people walking down the street in some kind of disassociated state with a vacant stare, violently twitching, and speaking nonsense to themselves. Florida men. The ones who don't want or expect to see tomorrow. Anyone with a plan going forward isn't worth being scared of. The ones who think the law doesn't apply to them. The stupid ones that don't even realize they live reckless. They'll take you down with them really quick. The people who ask that. Scary. Killers. People who violently lash out when they don't get their way. People who feel justified in using violence every time they get the least bit annoyed. People who think they're justified to do bad things. Why did those activists throw tomato soup on Van Gogh's painting for climate change? Attention probably, but why waste food to protest food wasting? Rich kids are weird, because they're assholes, and did it for the optics. They filmed the whole fucking hung. I guess they're buying into the whole all publicity is good publicity thing. I can't imagine it's done their cause much good though. For attention, because big oil paid them to make the left look crazy. Downvote me. There is literally proof. They were dumbass kids. Big oil funded it to make leftists look bad. Did those activists choose Van Gogh's painting for some specific meaning or just because it was the most famous in the museum? Why would anyone pay money for OnlyFans or any porn when there are literally millions of free porns readily available? Because I always support my family. Those people like to delude themselves that they're going to have personal interaction with the star through DMs or whatever, that by being a subscriber they're going to get to see more personal content that no one else gets to see, which makes them feel like they're somehow insiders with regard to the object of their lust. I think it's a desperation for personal interaction. It's a parasocial relationship. The viewer sends money or subs or whatever and the streamer often responds. Pay enough and you can ask a question. Pay more and you get one-on-one time in general. It makes you feel like you're in a personal one-on-one relationship with someone who is likely beautiful, handsome. After that it's just sunk cost, keeping up the relationship or risk feeling like you wasted the money and time. Parapsychological interactions. Women of Reddit, what's the one thing we men do that pisses you off? Flaunt their functional pockets. Not all men do this, but a lot that I've met do. Acting different towards your partner when you have friends over. It's not cool. Annex Poland. Make that horrid hoax sound and spit on the ground. Gross. Pee on the floor. Send unsolicited dick pics on Reddit, thinking we'll be impressed. Pretend to be so bad at something that I just give up and do it myself. Guys can roll out of bed and be ready in 15 minutes or less. I don't know why, but I'm pissed that I can't. Not being honest because I might get into trouble. I'm not your mother or your caregiver. I'm not going to ground you or spank you even if you ask me to, lol. But I need your honesty as an equal person, and it's going to be a deal breaker if you lie to me. Shave and not clean the hair after themselves. Would you be offended if a potential sex partner asked you for an STI test before you do the deed? Why or why not? No. I think it's a smart thing to do. No, and if you ever meet someone who has a problem getting tested, don't sleep with them. I wouldn't be offended at someone being responsible. No, my sex partner did ask me to get tested and I did. If I'm going to have sex with someone, that means I care about them and how they feel. If someone is getting offended by something as simple as an STD test, then they probably aren't the right person to be having sex with. Nope. Shows he cares about himself. Flattered that they think I've gotten enough to warrant it. Nope. Never done anything, but I understand their concern and I'd rather put them at ease rather than make them uneasy. Nope. No matter how low risk my history is, you can never be too careful. I'd understand they're just being careful. There's no need to be offended. You are Vladimir Putin for a day. What do? Me on my way to count how many people said suicide. Some Vladimir Putin, kill myself. Transfer all of his money to me, and then suicide. Post pics on social media of me getting nasty with a pig. In a French maid's outfit. My policies are like my proclivities. Start annexing China and pull out of Ukrainian territory. He will have to either commit to the bit when the day is done or have everyone think the stress got to him and has slipped mentally. 2 chicks at the same time. I reckon if I was Putin I could arrange something like that. Order a complete withdrawal of Russian forces and then commit suicide. Call a psychiatrist. Kilometers. Have the media film me having sex with a pig. I'd probably kill myself. I think he's a psychopath and an evil person. Transfer the money to my personal account. I will be RIP. Your phone wallpaper will kill you. What will your death be like? Trent Reznor beating me to death with a microphone. Suffocation as my wallpaper pick is the planet Jupiter. Fall from a skyscraper. It's a picture of skyscrapers shot from the bottom. The sky falls and crushes me. Or something. Crap, I'm in for a bad time. I have 3 full-size Texas steer that wandered onto my bro's property. His grass was green, they went on vacation and water lines broke. Those steer ripped down his fence and ate everything that was green. When he tried coaxing them off, he jumped into his pickup and had to call the owners they escaped from. So mauled by Texas Longhorn steer. My dog's gonna lick me to death. Help, my dog is going to eat me. The yellow wallpaper, literally. The vacuum of space. The sun, moon, and stars fall out of the sky and kill me and I guess the rest of the world too. Factory setting. American people, what would you say to non-American people visiting America for the first time? American TV and American life are 2 separate universes and neither is connected with the other. Welcome. Wheel committed. I meant to say welcome. Now is the opportunity for you to make a joke about the US education system, FYI. Sign yo pity on the runny kind. Can I come home with you when you leave? I don't like this place. We smile a lot. The US is bigger than you think. You cannot take a road trip from NYC to LA if you're on week-long vacation. You will not have fun if you're lucky. It's 41 hours one way. I have so many people say that when I lived in NYC we are staying for 4 days, then we want to see Hollywood, we are going to rent a car and leave in the morning and come back by Saturday. Tip your waiter waitresses 20. The pay system is different in the US and most of their pay is tips. Austria, huh? Good day mate. Dear non-asexual people, if you were in a relationship with someone and they sat you down and said they are asexual, what would your reaction be? This comment section is why I'm always upfront when a woman comes onto me. I've been on a date with an asexual guy. He told me 1 hour into the date. I had nothing but respect for straight up telling me. I said I want sex to be a part of a relationship. He respected my choice and we had a great date. We were friends for long after that. Wish them well, find someone who shares my interests. This actually happened to me. He was so much fun, that sex ultimately did not matter. We had 8 years together before he went in search of new adventures, but we stayed friends until his death. I still miss him. How do you handle your anxiety? Cannabis and practicing mindfulness. Pretty badly. I eat some poop. What if is an intrusive thought? You can entertain it if you want, but it doesn't need to engulf you. Controlling my breathing, therapy, and meds. It depends. I scream anxiety when I feel it coming on, and it helps calm me down. At night I drink chamomile tea, which eases the anxiety and helps me to sleep. I also stay away from caffeinated beverages when I feel the anxiety building up stronger than usual. Meds. They don't work great. Still have anxiety almost every day. Hopefully that it will get better or that I will eventually get on the correct meds. I drink methylphenidate by ignoring my problems. Pills. How are you feeling? This is going to sound weird, but I put my head in the freezers or try to find something really cold to be in. How do you like your eggs? I like my eggs unfertilized. Thanks for asking. Scrambled with salted butter, pink peppercorns and chives. Sterile. Hard-boiled or fried. Omelette is also good. Fried, but with the yolk broken. Am bad with egg lingo, but I like them with a runny yolk. Over medium with Valentina hot sauce and a little salt and pepper. Over easy, or sunny side up. In the latter, you can crack an egg over short grain rice after the rice cooker is done, and it'll cook to perfection depending on how long you leave the lid on. I don't really have a preference, but Google keeps suggesting different scrambled eggs recipes to me even though I don't think I've ever even searched for one. Maybe they know something I don't. Sunny side up. Well seasoned. But scrambled and omelette are also good for me. Shaken, not stirred. If men stare at ass and titties, what do women stare on a guy when we aren't looking? Honestly, love me some arms lol. Hair, face, eyes mainly, smile. Hands, I love strong hands. Hands, ass and smile. They stare in envy at the number of functional pockets we have. Arms and hands. Also, arms. I love when I can see my boyfriend's butt. It's very nice. In general, that muscle at the top of your forearm that flexes when you move your hand gets me very time. A nice back. If they have a cute face, I'll definitely be looking. But I won't stare, because that would understandably freak anyone out. We also stare at asses. I am constantly looking at my boyfriend's butt. It is a treasure. Let me save you some time, fellas. The first highest 10 comments. Arms and ass. Thighs. So many people are saying arms and I'm just looking down hopelessly at my noodle arms. If you caught your best friend having sex with your wife, what would you do? Well, it's about time she went and fucked herself. I'm more concerned on how he found her body. Take his car keys and drive to his place. It's all yours now, buddy. I don't think he would. I had him neutered as a puppy. Fuck my best friend so we're even. My wife is my best friend. Tell him off, he knows he's not allowed on the dog. Dog owners may want to approach this question carefully. I will have a best friend and a wife. Win-win. Record it for evidence, then talk to a divorce lawyer on how to get a divorce without losing anything. Thank them both and move on with my life. Many different vibes in this thread. Leave them both. Be worried that I suddenly have a wife. My best friend is my wife. I'd have to leave, or else I'd commit murder. I would then leave forever. I think I would just leave everything behind and become a nomad at that point and never look back. If you could wish a mild annoyance upon your enemy, what would it be? I'd wish for them to always be short one ingredient for their food. Cereal but no milk, cheese but no bread, coffee creamer but no coffee, etc. Eternally feeling as though he's got something stuck between his teeth. An itch that is always in a different spot, no matter where you scratch. Constant robocalls, cracker crumbs in bed and a mosquito in the room. I hope he gets a rock in his shoe. I hope that every time they are down to their last bowl of cereal from the packet, the milk comes out chunky. I hope he stubs his toe. A pebble in both shoes that he can never get out. A tiny pebble in their left shoe for all of eternity that can't be removed. An extended stream of advertisements on every single one of their radio stations at the same time and no XM. Every single pen they hold runs out of ink well before they're done writing. I hope that every time they're at the gravy stroke they get an intrusive thought. If you were dating someone and if they said they don't want to have sex with you until they are married to you, how would you react? My current boyfriend was like this. He wanted to wait until marriage. If it were anyone else, I would have dipped TF out. But for some reason, with him, I told him I'm willing to wait. Then a month passed into our relationship and he asked if we could have sex because he kept getting too turned on when we would do other stuff. Smiley face. Now 2 years later, we have a healthy sex life and overall relationship lol. I guess I would keep having sex with my wife instead. If you won the lottery, what's the first thing would you do? Make sure no one knows I've won it. Accept it anonymously so people won't hound me endlessly and just lay low. Collect the money. Call my lawyer. Not boast about it on social media like Reddit. Have a beer. And then have another beer. And then hire an attorney. Try to keep it as much as a secret as possible. Buy a house in the middle of nowhere and live my life. Disappear. Set up a interest-bearing money market-backed checking account like NFL players. Get 15% interest on the monthly balance. Never have to work again. I would still keep working but I wouldn't have to. Take it anonymously, then give to my parents to pay for any debts. Move. Buy my daughter a house. Hire an attorney and an accountant and then another attorney to watch the accountant and first attorney. Create a foundation that donates to communities in need. Obtain legal and financial representation. If your country was being invaded, what would you do? Popcorn. Cry happily to finally be freed from this capitalist hellhole. Depends on what the government wants me to do. Hot tub bra. Stop the invasion. Grab my R and see how many I can take down. I'm pretty good at 200 yards. Probably have to go to work that day. Wolverines. Wait until winter. And their hasty retreat. Sit back and watch the most powerful military in the world handle business. Throw myself in front of a tank or whatever else is needed. I'd gladly die doing a good deed since I've done fuck all in life. Depends of the country. Thoughtful face. Crack open a cold beer and enjoy the show. Who's invading? Because if it is a country using communist equipment, it will be over by sundown. Depends on what's invading it. If your long-term partner hit you, what would you do? Serious. Leave. I wouldn't tolerate that shit. I'd give them 30 seconds to get out of my house before I called the police. Kick him out. Immediately. No excuses and no second chances. Been there, done that. It never gets better. Hit them back and I'm gone. Leave them. Leave them straight away and if it did result in a physical injury report them to police. File a domestic abuse complaint. I will dom him her. I'd definitely be in shock and have to ask them to leave or get distance from them. In your opinion, which historical figure should serve as an example for children from an early age? Children should learn from a variety of historical figures, and not just their virtues but also their flaws and failings. Liver-eating Johnson. Tesla. Cincinnatus. True leader and a textbook example of integrity. Khadiram Bose, also spelled Khadiram Basu, December 3, 1889 – August 11, 1908, was an Indian revolutionary from Bengal Presidency who opposed British rule of India. At the time of his hanging, Khadiram was 18 years, 8 months, and 11 days, 10 hours old, making him the second youngest revolutionary in India. Search in Wikipedia for more about him. Isambard Kingdom. Brunel. Manners. Carl Sagan. He never stopped wondering about our place in the universe and he brought out curiosity in others. Ladies of Reddit, how do you feel about kissing your guy after he goes down on you? General consensus I'm getting in this thread is women would give themselves oral if they could lol. Bro, I'm so into it, it's so hot. Like he just devoured me and now I get to see him coming up with that look in his eye and a ferocious he kisses me after I blow him, which is also super hot. I guess I just like the tastes of sex lol. I love it. Tasting myself on him is so hot. She's never minded it and I don't either if it was reversed. Not a woman, but I don't understand how people would avoid this. Are you all brushing your teeth between foreplay and intercourse? Not kissing during intercourse? My wife and I kiss after oral all the time either direction and it's no big deal. It's just part of warming each other up and then having sex. Ladies on Reddit, what are red flags you can't ignore in men? Guys that constantly speak over people in conversation. They tend to not be very caring or respectful of others. When I worked at KFC, there was a girl whose boyfriend would stay parked outside the door during her entire shift. That is not something I've seen commonly and it's a huge red flag. When they have to always one-up you. Never apologizing. Easily lost patience and out of control temper over minor things. I dated a guy once who had an argument over the phone with a family member. After he got off the phone he picked up a picture frame that was nearby and just smashed it onto the ground, sending glass everywhere. The argument was something to do with a book. We had been dating for maybe 2 months. He was 26. Massive red flag that one as was. Non-Canadians of Reddit, what do you think the most Canadian thing we do is? Apologize. Even if it's not your fault. Overlook Canada's societal flaws in favor of memories of World War II contributions. Wear the Canadian tuxedo. Hockey. Or Tim Hortons. Say A. As an Indian looking for a Canadian citizenship, I'm so sorry. Struggle with your politeness. It seems like you have the baseline but a bit of a snarky edge. It's not like other countries that actually use politeness to show contempt in seamless ways. Apologize. Chop wood. Be kind people. When you use the word you use for a knitted winter hat squints in disapproval. I used to work in casino in Montana and the Canadians that came across the border to gamble were not friendly and they never tipped. And it was the same at the hotel. The staff there also had the same complaint. I do not know where the stereotype of being overly friendly and apologetic comes from. Non-Americans. What do you think every American person has in their house? Peanut butter. Jeans. Came here looking for jokes, found a bunch of people describing my home. Multiple different types of weird sauces. An American. Plastic bags. A dishwasher. That garbage disposal thing I always see in shows and movies. Fridge with ice dispenser built in. Air conditioning. Ranch dressing. A musket for home defense, just as the founding fathers intended. Individual cans or bottles of soft drinks. A gallon of milk in the refrigerator. A garbage shredder thing in the sink. Industrial quantities of soda. Blueberry breakfast pancake mix. Assorted boxes from Amazon. Dad's ugly comfy chair coupons. I'm convinced almost every American has a mountain of pillows on their bed. One of those giant containers of orange ball food. A pet eagle. Toilet plunger. Non-Chinese. What do you think every Chinese person has in their houses? Rice. TV issue. Xi Jinping pick. Ever met some Chinese visiting? It's not that they are all suffering and hate the dictator, they actually do like him. Soy sauce. Chopsticks and a lucky cat. Chopsticks. Air seems pretty universal. A rice cooker, cooked rice, chopsticks, a wok, and a bowl of rice. Big Brother. Mao Zedong Shrine. Cameras. Lots and lots of cameras. A drawer or box. Furniture. Fridge. A Chinese fan on the wall. A Sinopec logo, celebrating the greatest company in China. Fish sauce and or hoisin sauce. Slippers. Tea. Chinese people. Tonight's cat. People from the USA. Do neighbors really come up and greet you with a dish when you just arrive to a new neighborhood? I think in smaller communities this might still be a thing. However, nowadays, it is much more uncommon. I don't even know the names of my neighbors. Nor do I know what they even look like. The USA is the 5th largest country in the entire world. There's a lot of diversity across the USA. I gave my new neighbors $200, $100 in Whole Foods card, $100 in a local liquor store card, and a chocolate bar. No. There's nothing that joins Americans. We all hate one another. Not anywhere I've lived. I don't even know the names of the people who live next door. No. I haven't experienced that. I have experienced heat train nosiness and waves. People who never change their smoke alarm batteries and constantly hear the chirping. Are you okay? How do you not go insane? Do people actually not change them? You cured my tinnitus. It's because those ones are usually wired into the mains electricity and they don't understand there is a backup battery in them in case there is a power cut or electrical fire. They are usually high up too, and so most people probably put off changing it because they can reach it easily, then forget about it because they got used to that beep every few minutes. I have a friend that does this. He's most definitely insane. Shiduck. I just replaced all needed to be dealt with alleyware. I lived in a house with vaulted ceilings and we didn't have a ladder high enough to reach the smoke detector. It actually sounded like a bird chirping and didn't bother us in the slightest. After a month we borrowed a ladder from a neighbor and changed it. People who rarely get sick. What are your secrets? Sleep. I'm very introverted. I tell all viruses they can't infect me. They cannot legally enter my body without my consent. Agoraphobia mostly. Ever since I started sleeping early and getting 9 hours of sleep I stopped getting sick so often. Not sure if that's it but could be. In the womb I made sure to take all the good genes. I'm too busy to get sick. I rescheduled my sick days to the final week of my life. Nice try. Infectious disease. Alcohol kills bacteria so I make sure to drink a lot of it. People with 6-figure incomes living paycheck to paycheck. Where does all your money go? Student loans, rent, health insurance, and retirement account. 100K yearly income, 20.5K 401K pre-tax, 20.5K taxes, CA 59K after-tax dispensable income, 3K health insurance, 6K Roth IRA, 24K rent, 2K utilities, 4K car payment, 1K car insurance, 10K ESPP. Oops, only 9K total or $750 a month for food, entertainment, etc. Just saw an article saying that like 40 of people earning $100,000 per year are living paycheck to paycheck. Curious where all that extra money goes to? Entertainment? Food? Housing? Etc. Mortgage and investments. Not that I know of. Just meant that's how you know even well-paid people are overextended. Relatively new to Reddit. What are some pointers? Do's and don'ts? Do have fun, don't be mean. Dude, you just got 750 upvotes 6 hours ago. You don't need pointers. Just be you. And don't send unsolicited dick pics. What else? Don't make offensive jokes. My account is just about to get banned for a misogynistic sounding joke. Read the rules before posting in subs. Be kind. If you want to criticize a community, make sure you properly understand it first. Post pet tax when applicable. Block and report nasty Redditors early. Don't get involved in fights. It's easier to not get banned than to get a ban lifted, and getting banned for trivial nonsense is super easy. Serious, what are you struggling with right now? Life. Just. Life. Online dating. Same thing every day. Sick of being single, sick of being a virgin. 10 years is way longer than I thought I'd go, and I'm about to have a breakdown. Pooping. I have a plan for my future. But actually, I have no foot to stand on right now. I'm kinda struggling with a feeling of loneliness, hard to shake. RN aching shoulders, but in general it is a gender crisis. My work, why I even bother anymore. War, it ruined all my future. Trying to be better. To start exercising, getting my drive license, be stronger and better. Trying to be more independent and more confident. It's so damn hard, I don't think I can do anything or change anything. I think it's already too late and that I'm fucked up. Serious, what's a food that you hate the texture of, no matter how many times you try it? Avocado. Mayonnaise is just weird. Eggs. Any kind of jelly. I don't trust foods that wobble. Raisins, chewy pieces of grossness. Berries. I cannot handle the seeds, they feel like tiny sand glass stone fragments between my teeth, and my brain goes into danger. You shouldn't eat this mode. Tofu. Shredded coconut. What is this? Meat in any form. Grapes. Coconut. I love coconut flavor in food, but actual coconut texture doesn't do it for me at all. Sweet potato casserole. It's a combination of sugary and slimy and earthy that just does not work for me. Eggplant and zucchini, their flavors are alright, but the texture is. Okra. Liver. Like, it's so weird. And the taste is just awful. Raw tomatoes. The monster form under your bed come out. What do? Blanky. Can't lay a claw on me when I'm in Blanky Town. Asked him what's his favorite Linkin Park song. I hold it gently. Let his ass know he better not have left a mess under there. Keep your area neat. Ya freeloader. Say good for you, man. It takes courage to come out. Have you told your parents yet? Cuddle first, then we gonna get freaky. A Canadian destroyer. I'm fucked, so I'd probably freeze to death. Beat the shit out of it. Negotiate a peace treaty. Hey dude, wanna watch Star Wars? If I could get my hands on that mofo, I'd knock them so far into the next life they'd never be able to crawl back. Lol, grab my foot now, I dare you. Surprised no one has said hide under my blankets. There's no space between my bed and the ground, so no monsters. The title of the last song you listened to describes your sex life for the next 5 years. How screwed are you? Fuck. Solitude. Billie Holiday. Doing research for a presentation on propaganda, so I just listened to an old Nazi song. Looks like it's obese white women with shitty tattoos and 4 kids for me. I'm feeling myself. Well, that's not the worst. Varyogs of Meeklegard by Amon Amarth. Will I at least get fame and gold from this? Deadhead by Devin Townsend. As a mortician this would be a good one. I however am not a mortician. When a demon defiles a witch by Whitechapel, not sure how that'll work out. Smiley face. Anyway, you want a journey? Kinky? Smiley face. Pink Venom. Blackpink. People. August D. I'd say a good amount. A-OK hand. Motherfucker of the. To the glasses wearers of Reddit, what would you do if you lost your glasses today and couldn't get them back for the rest of your life? Take buses and trains everywhere instead of driving a car. Begrudgingly, go and get a new pair. It's been a while. I should probably get my eyes checked while I'm at it. Contacts in the intermediate, but I'd basically have to put off buying a house even further to save for laser eye surgery. Contacts are only wearable for a portion of the day, not the entire day. My vision is bad enough that I can't read without correction. Be horribly crippled. I couldn't recognize most people from more than 2 feet away. I would only be able to do a job where I had to focus on something up close. Like maybe craft work. It would not be a good time. I would not be able to drive and would have to find a new career. I would otherwise still be able to function pretty well. My vision isn't awful, it's just not razor sharp anymore. Using only food. Where are you from? Swedish meatballs, maple syrup, pizza, Vegemite. I'ma keep this short. Extreme amounts of sugar, lots of potatoes, dishes and bread with raw pork. Nanaimo bars, butter tarts, fresh salmon, apples, cherries, goulash, beer, schnitzel, brötchen, chocolate, beer, fries, pears, waffles, beer and last but not least beer. Ginger beef, ham and peas pudding, stutty, and cebulotto, brown cheese, cod liver oil, dried fish, hot gardnera, gator tail, tater tot hot dish, fairy bread, Yorkshire puddings, Milanesas, pavlova, borscht, Oreos, tri-tip cooked over red oak, green bean casserole and pork chops, steak Gatsby, hamburger, paella, Gazpacho, Tim Tam, corn, lobster and blueberries, Dungeness crab. Free and plentiful. What are the unwritten rules of Reddit? Don't bother having a debate about religion because people will scold you no matter how civilized your comments are. Never tell someone in real life your username. Especially if you recommended Reddit to a person. Write like nobody can take a joke. Don't discriminate based on politics. An ironic emoji downvote. Don't say anything bad about Trump, or you get downvoted to oblivion. And, never ever show any kind of support for a system that isn't capitalist. Be left-wing. You have to hate astrology, love Shrek, and if you're an ethot, you are all but required to do a Wei Feng face post if you don't want to die anew. What are ways to be happier in life? Go outside more. Take a short walk or drive around the block. If you have a dog cat, put them on a leash or vest and start walking them daily. Do little things like clean off your desk or clean your phone storage. It really does boost your mood. Find something to be grateful for every day. Have you tried meditation? Live and let be. After making sure your basic needs are met, it's less about finding things to be happy about and more about letting go of the things that make you unhappy. Own less stuff. Don't take others' words to heart. Be yourself for yourself. Have no people on earth. Knowing yourself and walking your own path in spite of the odds. Don't care about what people think. Make yourself a priority. Take accountability for your mistakes and learn from them. Have rewarding hobbies like learning an instrument, take up golf, work out, etc. Set attainable goals and meet them, making every tomorrow better than yesterday. What are your favorite sounds to fall asleep to? Rain, the low humming of a fan, thunderstorm, waves on an ocean, the stomping of a ship. I would love someone to listen to on YouTube that talks soft and about something interesting like science, nature. I get an odd clip or so, but guess I'm looking for a podcast type thing. My wife snoring, the voice of Jim Dale. Nothing cause him deaf, skull, calm sounds, crickets and wind. Rain falling down a rain spout. Human heart, human heart, human heart. A cat purring. Anything repetitive and soothing. Absolute silence. I use sleep sounds on my Echo, usually either rain setting or waves. I find it very hard to sleep without white noise. Alexa, play ocean noises. Upstairs apartment, kids stomping. My wife's post-orgasmic whimper and heavy breathing. What body part or feature turns you on the most? That curve from the waist, over the hip and to the thigh. Perfect place to drive my Hot Wheels car. Voice is a feature. Yes. If you have a sexy voice, you're automatically more attractive to me and you can most definitely tell me what to do. Midriff. Wow. The intersection of the hip, thigh, pelvis where there is a little channel that guides you to the promised land. Cock. I find the most erotic part of a woman is the boobies. The bottom of boobs. The tops are great, nips are awesome, but the bottoms are the fucking best. I'm a thigh man. Small of her back, also bare shoulders and back. Wide shoulders, collarbone area man. Honestly, when she has her hair up in a ponytail, that little area on the nape of her neck where those little wisps of hair not caught in her ponytail are, romantic face. The whole female belly, definitely the kidney. Lips. God, I love smiles. What brings the worst out of people? Money, jealousy, inheritance, farts, wealth, greed, alcohol, for some, adult circumcision, death, politics, social media, the internet, crisis. But also the best of some people. Politics, the smallest amount of power sometimes. I swear. Arguing. Anonymity. Scarcity. Morality tends to last only as long as people are fed, warm and dry. Fear. Meth. Politics. Where to store the ketchup. Walmart. Black Friday sales. This question. Desperation. Traffic. What deceased musician would still be making amazing music if they were alive today? Bob Marley, Mac Miller, Jimi Hendrix, Tupac, Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Amy Winehouse, Frank Zappa, SRV, Michael Jackson, David Bowie, Kurt Cobain, Mozart, Freddie Mercury, Prince, Kurt motherfucking Cobain, Janis Joplin, Elvis Presley, Cliff Burton. R.I.P. my friend. If Elvis was still alive, I imagine his career would look a lot like Johnny Cash's career did in his last days. He'd be 87 years old and would probably have retired those thrusting hips after a couple hip replacement surgeries, but I could see him still rocking that vibrato voice from a sitting position in some live concerts. Paul McCartney. Imagine Beethoven on a synth with drums. B.B. King, Chris Cornell. The Reverend from Avenged Sevenfold. This guy was a genius. Buddy Holly. Freddie. What do you really want to brag about? I've lost about 25 of my body weight in the past year. 3 more pounds and I won't be overweight. Giant cock. Deadlifted 400 pounds last week. My fiancée, she's just amazing. My farts. Love my partner to bits. I was finally allowed to join a 20-man all-guys keeper fantasy baseball league this year. I'm a girl and I won the league. Cool face. Let's hear it for the sports girls out there. Celebratory hands in the air. These nuts. I'm going to see Max Cavalera in concert tonight with my husband. That I make more money than all of my friends and family members and I'm in my mid-20s. I've written software at various places so much that it is becoming unlikely you haven't used a device that runs my code. I have tickets for the concerts I really wanted to go. TBH, not a big brag cause I will be going alone XD, but still, I can't wait. What does your username mean to you? I eat toilets. I love pussy. Who even knows? I means what it says. I'm one of the two, glam rock and fetish porn. A mistake I can't go back on. My favorite Cold War airplane. It ain't Swahili, fella. My username is what I do. I overshare. I'm Pan. Honestly nothing. I thought it was funny, especially BC. The only drug I've done is gummy vitamins. It's a reference to the giant tree in my front yard. It's my favorite tree in the world. In summer it is covered in these beautiful purple flowers. It makes me happy. A blood moon fairy. It's inspired by my brother's old username on a different site. I just like them. I created this user Clippy randomly 2 years ago before I used Reddit etc. and I love it. I just thought of it randomly and I think it's cool. That you wish you know me. I rewatched an episode of South Park before making this ick. I thought it sounded dark and pretty. What famous person do you dislike? Why? I'm gonna be cancelled. I used to like her, but to be honest, she became overrated. Vladimir Putin, I think he counts as famous. Kanye West. He's deranged, idiotic, disrespectful, harmful, etc. Elon Musk for so many reasons. Tom Cruise. Ellen DeGenerate. Tom Cruise is an odd dude. Kim Kardashian, she's influenced the worst of an entire generation and they're going on to do the same. He is a jerk. Kanye. He's endangering his children. He fucking doxed his own children. The anti-Semitism and other racism. I could go on. Ant and Dec always manage to piss me off the moment I see them. Philip Schofield is another one. All politicians. Any Hollywood celebrity who is trying to influence your political stance. They have no clue what life is like for the common person and have no business telling you who to cast your vote for. What food do you want to like, but your body just won't let you eat or drink it? Ice cream and yogurt. The alternatives are fine, but it's not the same and the flavor variety isn't quite there yet. Though it is much better than it used to be. Oysters and scallops. Love the taste. Get super sick every single time. Pickles. Everyone and their mother loves pickles and I'm the only asshole who can enjoy the taste. Alcohol. It used to, hopefully it will again, but for about a month now I've been only able to sip light beer over the course of several hours, and often not even finish one. Man, that was one fun party though. Cheese. I love it but it doesn't love me back. Mushrooms and or chitlins. Kombucha. Lasagna. I choke it down but I do not like it. What, in your opinion, is the most significant cultural object in recent history? The smartphone. Confession, I'm using you all for a school project so that I don't have to work as hard. Putin's desk. Scrolling through Reddit, I'm going to go with memes. Little boy. Doge. The smartphone. How recent? Ranson how? Probably the smartphone for the 2010s and 20s. So far recent, a few years? Surgical mask. iPhone or first Android phone. Alternatively Windows as an OS. Hand sanitizer. I'm going to go with memes after scrolling through Reddit. What is a grammatical error that bothers you to no end? When people say could care less instead of couldn't care less. Misplaced your and your, could have instead of could have. What bothers me is that this is not some misheard idiom, but use of a well-defined function word in a way that makes absolutely zero sense. For me, apostrophes on plural nouns. It's 3 horses in a field, not 3 horses. I'm not that shallow. Angle instead of angel. People that say across or height. Not using Oxford comma. Why? There are none. Why do people put spaces before question marks? The misuse of the words much and many. It's probably already been said, but people who put spaces before punctuation. People mixing up there and there even though I do it all the time. Any one for which a person refuses to accept correction. Bring and take. When people don't use periods. In sports articles or tweets when they say resign instead of somebody resigning. What is a great example of a necessary evil? The ability for the human body to feel pain. As exploitable as it is, without this ability to feel pain the life expectancy would go way down because people often wouldn't realize something was wrong with their body until it was too late to do anything about it. Pain is the body's natural defense mechanism to protect itself against further injury. The air in your bag of chips stops the chips from getting crushed on delivery. We all wish there could just be more chips, but you need that air. Chemotherapy. A lawyer defending an alleged rapist, murderer, pedophile, etc. If you don't experience sitting down and being humbled, you're all the more likely to not only let success go to your head but to take things for granted. Farting. It stinks and it's embarrassing, but we'd be in constant agony without it. What is cool in the eyes of most high schoolers but is actually cringe? Adults who hang out with them, vaping, starting fights for no reason, at least in my school anyways. Most high schoolers, fuckboys, calling things cringe, telling people how mature you are. I wouldn't say that this applies to the majority, but it does apply to a pretty decent amount at my school. Saying slurs and barking at people they find weird, they really think it's peak comedy. TikTok bullshit, cliques, talking to their teacher like they're friends. The concept of cool, pretty much the whole persona they play to fit in. You'll eventually grow out of it. The question is just when. Making fun of people like you're not funny, you're annoying and childish. Talking back to teachers and laughing in their faces, bullying others, smoking and drinking and then bragging about it. Acting alter when they are just following the trend and not really belong there. What is something you'd much rather buy in person than online? A car. I don't know how people trust Carvana or any of the other online vehicle delivery services. Shoes, clothes, food, lube, shoes. Even the same model shoe in the same size might not be exactly the same. Food. When shopping in person, you can try clothes on, see how they fit, and feel the materials. Anything that I have to touch and try it to buy it. Pants. Anything fragile, I'm not making that mistake again. Toothpaste, movies, games, books. A puppy. Definitely cars. Shoes. You never know how the sizes are going to be, they might charge you to return for another size. Or if they are out of your size, even though it says free exchanges, they will charge you like it's a return. A girlfriend. What is the best thing the United States has ever done? World War II was a noble crusade. I think most would agree. Reese's, blues music, jazz, musical theater, normalized hugging, sent men to the moon. You've done some pretty cool things in your little 250-year history, America, but that was the coolest. Reuben sandwich, smartphones, craft beer in general. I'm not an American, but I think the Yanks have appropriated beer making and done a really good job. Indeed, many brewers are originally from Europe, so there's that. But, they're simultaneously willing to experiment, hence the proliferation of IPAs, sours, barrel-aged beers, and also adhere to existing styles to recreate those styles accurately. The quantity, diversity and selection of beer is outstanding in the US. Planes and moon landing. Airplanes. Viper Acre. What is the dumbest thing you've gotten made fun of for? For reading books. My accent. For wearing fake glasses in 7th grade. They were bright red, which I guess makes them fake. I've been wearing glasses since 3rd grade. These people knew this. Eating erasers. I got made fun of in middle school for wearing a puffy coat. In California. For using an iPhone. Liking Taylor Swift. My slight R lisp. Using solar power years before it became stylish. Cheaper than running power lines. I have a lazy eye that crosses. For not knowing using deodorant when I was 10 years old. Eating rocks. Having a pride flag in my profile picture. Fearful face. That I mispronounce things. First of all, English spelling has way too many exceptions. Second, I skipped 1st grade, so I never took a phonetics class. Third, if I mispronounced it, then I probably read the word first before hearing it. What is the strangest law that is still in effect in your country today, excluding the US? In Australia, it is legal to marry your parents' siblings, your siblings' children. Think your aunt is hot? In Australia, you can legally marry her. If you don't clean up after your dog and get caught, you will be forced to do it with your bare hands. Then I moved to America. Wish we had that law here. You literally never saw dog waste anywhere. Here it's everywhere. You can't fraudulently claim to be a psychic medium. Used to have a specific law against it but is now covered under general fraud laws. According to relatives in Ireland, a cow must not be exposed to wild dogs or pirates. It is legal to kill a Welshman in Hereford, England, but only in Cathedral Close, on a Sunday, with a long bow, from exactly 12 yards. In South Africa you cannot bring your bear to the beach, or wrestle it. We don't have bears. What is the strangest thing you've seen your neighbor do? Pulled his brother's penis. My neighbor periodically walks down the street butt-ass naked screaming at everyone to go to church. Run from the sheriff. Peek into my window. Me. Talk bad about a neighbor every other day but still go and chill at that said neighbor's house. Strange. Two parents driving the oldest son to school and leaving their youngest daughter in the middle of the street, crying, with only 10 years. Sitting outside watching the feral cats that he feeds. Woman face palming. Not the strangest, but I like when my pretty neighbor appears topless on her balcony. Not saying hi to any neighbor. Put a giant Jack-in-the-Box clown on their porch during Halloween. I mean, there's scary decorations and then there's this. My neighbor would say me washing my car in the rain. Washed it every weekend, rain or shine, then hose the pine needles out of the driveway. What is the strangest way you met a former or current boyfriend, girlfriend, etc.? I met my ex-wife when she was fighting with her new boyfriend. She did not want me to see her like that. I was a manager at a fast food restaurant and he delivered the bread. He tells people I liked his buns, smiley face. He did go to our house because he got invited by my brother on his party, lol. We were at work, and I was having a really hard day. Just found out my ex-husband had been cheating on me for months. I knew we had a mutual friend, and he was working closest to me. We ended up talking and he made the mistake of asking if I was okay. I started crying, and he spent the rest of the shift making me laugh. This is a current one, but I met her by sparring with her. What is the weirdest smell you like? Gasoline. What it is about it, but I like the smell. Newly printed money. Smell of soil after it has rained. Tar. I thought everyone liked it but I was wrong. Skunk. It reminds me of cannabis. The smell of sterilant that comes with insulin needles. My own farts. My dog. I even miss it when I go to work. Lol. I also like the smell of rain, soil and newly trimmed grass. Old books. I also love the smell of sun on my hair, not the sweaty smell, just when it smells kind of like the sun. BC your hair dried up. BC of it. How to explain lowland sun on newly dried laundry. Nail polish remover. New tires in the store. Garden centers. I don't know if it's chemicals they use or what, but I love the smell. Horse manure. I was 5 when I first smelled it, and loved it. Chloroform. You should try it. Feel like this is pretty light, but car gas. What is worse than death? Being burned alive. Being the only survivor. Survivor's guilt is real, and can be completely overwhelming. Life. Everyone you love and or care about dying and you living. Depression and crippling anxiety. Death to the deafening. Unbearable pain. Being covered in paper cuts, dipped in lemon juice, then being hung to dry. Nobody knows what death is. Question can't be answered. When you are dead you didn't realize it. Something worse to death is being alive. No human being knows what is after death. Maybe it's safer than life. The death of someone you love also. When you die you feel literally nothing, making death by definition the chillest experience in the universe. Pure non-existence. Being sleep deprived. What kind of people do you hate the most? People that are loud, rude and obnoxious and that are fake AF. The holier than thou people. Homo sapiens. Nothing but trouble with those ghosty ones who'll only message back when they need something from you. People who are intolerant of other people's culture. And the Dutch. People who think they know a lot about a lot when they don't. Complainers. People who always see themselves as victims and see everything as unfair, but they never actually do anything to get anywhere. Redditors. Mr. and Mrs. Always Right. People who are very into political topics, getting into arguments and debates with their friends and families, but they don't vote in the first place. Fuck off. Arrogant. People I see too much of myself in. Evangelicals and conservatives. Liberals as a communist. People who judges others based off of political opinions. Rich people. People that express hair to other people. What life-changing item can you buy for less than $100? Condoms. A good pillow. A fire extinguisher. A bag of shrooms. A good phone case and a screen protector. It's kinda like having decent shoes. Added for those that don't use screen protectors, don't be an idiot like me and use hand sanitizer to clean your screen. It will strip off the coating on your screen. A book. Adopted kitten cat. Mine was the best $25 I have ever spent in my life. Bidet. Blackout curtains. My glasses. Felt like I upgraded my eyes from 480p to fucking 4K, especially with my right eye, which is practically blind with anything less than 30 centimeters away from me. A really good pillow. Investing in a proper pillow has increased the quality of my sleep tremendously, and it's also a lot easier to fall asleep with it. What looks easy peasy lemon squeezy but is actually difficult? Dancing. Threading a sewing needle. especially when I have forgotten my glasses. Hitting a golf ball, finding a makeup look that suits the face. Pottery. You'll need some serious control of force. Shooting a bow. Putting clothes on my 8-month-old son. Golf. After a day of practice you might be able to make decent contact, but first-timers usually have a hard time even hitting the ball. Any musical instrument. Drawing. And painting. Adulthood. Sleeping. Rebellions. Squeezing lemons. Actually, try to get the juice out of a couple by squeezing and you'll end up with sore hands. Flirting. Finding the will to live. Smiley face. Life. Being in a relationship. Dismantling a wooden pallet or even simply carrying the blasted thing to the intended spot to plan starting the process. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Cake decorating. What makes you want to keep living? Music. It's helped me get through some of the roughest patches of my life. Curiosity. People I love. My pets. Things I'm excited for, like movies coming out or my hair growing longer. The thought that eventually I won't have a choice. That means I'll die one day anyway. Why should I do it earlier? The stray cats I feed. Tacos. Spy. Hell can wait another day. My son. I always hesitate to give this answer, because I don't believe in putting that kind of weight on a little person who didn't ask to be born. But what I do know is that choosing to keep him and realizing what I was about to do, it made me save myself so I could be a responsible parent for him. I've retraced all my steps in life and where I made my mistakes. And if I had done a single thing different, I wouldn't have him. Knowing that, I wouldn't change a single thing. Not dying. What massively popular movies, TV shows did you not watch? Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, The Stranger Things and Game of Thrones. I have actively avoided The Big Bang Theory my entire life. I won't even watch the Jeopardy episodes with that lady as the host. Everything about that show seems designed to annoy me. Grey's Anatomy. Euphoria. The Walking Dead. Zombies? Really? Muster a single drop of interest. No offense to those loving the whole zombie genre, but I'm just never gonna be into it personally. That new Jeffrey Dahmer show, The Wire. People talked about how good it was, but I watched part of the first episode and was so lost, I couldn't follow it at all. They may as well have been speaking a lost language. House of Dragon. I'm done with anything Game of Thrones related. I have not seen a single episode of Breaking Bad. Forrest Gump and Breaking Bad. What movie is good but not rewatchable? Schindler's List. Marley and Me. Uncut Gems. Too stressful. Requiem for a Dream was excellent, but it's a lot. I don't know if I could watch it again. Also Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It's a great movie, but there are stretches that got kind of crazy and exhausting. I worked at Blockbuster when the 2003-04-ish movie Crash came out. Whenever anyone wanted my opinion, I said it's a really good movie I never want to see again, and never have. Blue Valentine. Wonderfully heartbreaking. Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams are fantastic. Left the theater emotionally drained and sad. I always recommend it to people, but would never watch it again. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, very good, just incredibly sad. Brazil by Terry Gilliam. Great, but I can't bring myself to watch it again. What mythical creature cryptid has the most evidence of actually existing? Giant squids used to have a somewhat mythical status. So anything deep-sea based? People have observed coyotes walking upright on their hind legs. It isn't understood why, possibly a response to feeling threatened. Coyote is one of the most common and important figures in indigenous mythologies of Western North America, where he frequently appears as a transformer and or trickster deity. Can we do what for Mr. Was in human history? If so, I'm going the bunyip of Australia. Several traditional descriptions of it basically describe a species of giant wombat that coexisted with the Aborigines for a while. The length of their cultural memory is incredible. Kraken. I think currently evidence that tie the history of this to current giant squids. There is a chance a giant squid could have grown large enough to have potentially damaged ancient fishing vessels.